Hello, dear readers out in YouTube land. Welcome to the Reading Studio. I'm Mr. LP, your read aloud specialist, and we've got more from Gooseberry Park by Cynthia Rylant. So let's get reading. Gooseberry Park by Cynthia Rylant with illustrations by Arthur Howard. Here we have the table of contents, and we're getting to the bottom of this page with chapter 8. And the next page we're going to get into in the next few days. Chapter 8 is called A Very Big Risk. When evening descended and the storm had stopped, the professor still slept, while Coda kept vigil at the window, trembling as giant pines bent their icy heads to the ground, and jumping at the sharp sounds of thick bark breaking. All of the lights in the neighborhood were out. The refrigerator didn't hum, the plant light didn't buzz, and the warm furnace air didn't hush through the vents. Professor Albert's fireplace and the gas post lamp in the front yard were the only sources of light, and they cast a funeral glow upon the house and its occupants, stranded like polar bears on an Arctic floe. "What are we going to do, Gwendolyn?" Kona asked, his big head casting a giant shadow over her bowl. "Stumpy is in serious trouble." "Yes," Gwendolyn answered, nodding. "It's serious, very serious. Even if her tree is still standing, she will be trapped in her nest. And the ice, and the babies." "I have to help her," Kona said, pacing in circles around the living room. "Kona, dear, what can you do? She is at the top of a tall tree. There would be no way of reaching her, and the journey to the park treacherous, very treacherous indeed. The ice is difficult, nearly impossible to cross, as poor Professor Albert demonstrated earlier. Trees are coming down, heavy branches dropping from great heights. Kona, you would be taking a very big risk, and perhaps for naught. She is over 100 feet in the air." "What if she isn't, Gwendolyn?" Kona stopped pacing and looked at the crab. "What if her tree is one of those that came down?" Gwendolyn shook her head sadly. "If it was, then I very much doubt, dear, that Stumpy, such a fall." The old crab looked at the dog and spoke gently. "Her chance of surviving seems very unlikely." Kona took a deep breath and, with eyes wide and sincere, answered, "Whether she is alive or not, Gwendolyn, I have to take care of her." The crab sighed. "Well, my dear, I expect you do. I expect you do. But I am not sure how you will accomplish it." 5 minutes later, Gwendolyn was working the lock on Professor Albert's front door. Kona held her steadily in his mouth, and with a deft claw, she turned the mechanism gently, then click, it was done. Kona placed her back in her bowl. "Thank you for not sneezing, dear," she said. "I'm still not sure if I can get the door open," said Kona. "Just pretend the knob is a bone," Gwendolyn answered. "I have every confidence you will do it." And the dog did. After only a minute or so of vigorous gnawing and biting, the door popped open. Kona looked back at his good friend, staring anxiously through the glass, at Professor Albert snoring peacefully on the sofa, at his own warm bed in the corner, and at the inviting flames of the fireplace. "I'll be back soon, Gwendolyn," he said. "Of course you will," said the crab. "Take good care, dear." She did not want Kona to know how worried she was. When Kona went out the front door, he didn't close it all the way behind him. He needed to be able to get back into the house before Professor Albert woke again. Kona breathed deeply, took one strong, confident step, and with a magnificent slide shot right off Professor Albert's porch into the top of a juniper bush. Sprawled there, he groaned and looked out at the several blocks he would have to cross to reach Gooseberry Park. He looked back at Gwendolyn in the window, her antennae swirling around and around. Just then a heavy branch from a tree across the street crashed into his neighbor's front yard, taking several broken shingles with it. Kona sighed, then carefully maneuvered back onto his feet. Inching his way slowly, he began his ice journey. Gooseberry Park seemed to him to be on the other side of the world. Instead of taking the sidewalk, Kona decided to cut through yards. It would save time and there would be more things to hold on to. He crossed one yard by hanging onto a hemlock hedge. A second yard had a rail fence he steadied himself against. In another, a long concrete planter kept him on his feet. Some yards had nothing at all to hold on to except the occasional ice-covered bush. In these yards, Kona danced, skated, skied, and rolled. He fell again and again, and once he struck his nose so hard that it bled. Kona saw not one sign of life along the way, save for a large yellow tomcat who tried to impress him by strolling easily across the icy top of an Oldsmobile. Kona gave him a sour look and went on. The dog's body was bruised, and his spirits had taken a beating as well. But he was determined. He knew where to find Stumpy's tree, and he was bound to make it there. Something inside was telling him to do this. His teeth ached from holding on to every solid object he could grasp, and his tongue was numb with cold. But something called him, and no matter what the price, he would answer. That's the end of chapter 8. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and please stay tuned as I finish Gooseberry Park. Get your own copy by the link, from the link below in the description, and I'm Mr. LP signing off. I'll reach you soon.